You rebuilt yourself. And you still don't recognize who's looking back. You changed the job, the city, the people. You changed how you speak, how you dress, how you show up. You did everything the podcasts and the self-help shelves told you to do. And yet, something didn't come with you. It isn't failure, it's quieter than that. It's the exhaustion of outgrowing a version of yourself and still feeling it attached to you like a shadow. You don't want a rebrand. You want a real shift. You want to stop reacting from the same old wiring. But there is a terror underneath that desire. What if you go deep enough, let go of what needs to go, and there is nothing left? How do you become someone new without losing the only self you've ever known? There is a creature that has been solving this exact problem for 300 million years. It was here before the first forests. It survived 5 mass extinctions. Each time it emerged adapted, precise, and completely itself. The octopus. What makes this animal unsettling isn't its appearance, it is what's hidden inside. The octopus is colorblind. Its eyes cannot distinguish tone. And yet, it produces the most complex camouflage on Earth. It matches colors it cannot see and textures it has never touched. It becomes a rock, a coral, or a patch of sand in under 200 milliseconds. It solves the problem of color using an instrument that cannot detect it. Beyond that, it has 500 million neurons, but only 180 million live in the brain. The rest are distributed across its 8 arms. Each arm thinks, each arm decides, each arm acts independently. The octopus is not one mind controlling 8 limbs. It is 9 minds operating as a single coherent creature. This is not just a sea animal. This is a masterclass in reinvention without self-erasure, and it carries answers to questions you haven't learned to ask yet. Lesson 1. Change the surface. Protect the source. In 200 milliseconds, the octopus reorganizes thousands of pigment cells. It doesn't just shift color, it raises and flattens its skin to mimic texture. It becomes a camouflage so perfect that even trained biologists lose it mid-observation. And underneath, 3 hearts are still beating blue blood. A distributed nervous system, intact. A beak that hasn't changed shape since the day it arrived in the world. The octopus transforms everything you can see, and nothing you can't. You've been confusing surface with source. You treat reinvention like demolition, believing that to become something new, you have to reduce yourself to rubble first. The octopus proves that equation is wrong. It adapts what is visible while protecting what is essential. Reinvention is not erasure. It is precision editing. What in you are you trying to destroy, when what you actually need is to change how it shows up? Could such a precise mechanism of survival be an accident? Lesson 2. Your identity doesn't live in one place. 180 million neurons in the brain, 320 million in the arms. When a predator severs an arm, that arm keeps reacting, sensing, and moving for up to an hour. It was never just an extension of the center. It was a center in itself. You've been acting as if your identity lives in a single story, a single role. When that story gets cut, by loss, by failure, by time, you feel like you've ceased to exist. The octopus proves that a distributed self survives amputation. What part of yourself could you release without losing who you are? But none of this prepares you for what the octopus does with its own code. Lesson 3. Rewrite the instructions. This is not a metaphor. Most organisms are locked into the genetic code they arrived with. The instructions hold until death. The octopus rewrites them mid-life. When water temperatures drop to lethal levels, the octopus edits the RNA inside its neurons. It alters the proteins responsible for nerve signals to keep them firing at full speed. It doesn't wait for the next generation to evolve a solution. It changes the code while the code is running. Wait, before this next one, I need you to hear it differently. You believe your patterns are permanent. The anxiety, the freeze response, the default settings. You treat them like load-bearing walls you can't remove. The octopus edits its architecture mid-operation. It changes exactly what slows it down while keeping everything that makes it unique. What frozen narrative are you still reading simply because you're afraid to write a new one? Lesson 4. The Beak Rule. The octopus has no skeleton, no spine, no rigid structure, except one, the beak. It is hard, immovable. It is the only point that does not yield. Because of this, the octopus can pass through any opening where its beak fits. A 20-pound body pouring through a gap the size of a quarter. The entire creature reorganizes itself around a single, fixed, non-negotiable point. Total flexibility isn't freedom. It's just collapse. The octopus is infinitely adaptable because it knows where its beak is, the one thing that does not move, the one point around which it will not reorganize. What is yours? Not your habits, not your curated personality, your beak, the thing that, if you handed it over, would mean you weren't there anymore. Find it and stop apologizing for it. Lesson 5. Touch before you interpret. The octopus tastes by touching. Its suckers detect chemical information through direct contact. It does not romanticize the surface. It verifies. Contact first, interpretation after. Humans do the opposite. We build the story first, then search for evidence to flatter it. You say you're confused about your next move. Maybe you're not confused. Maybe you're addicted to theorizing from a safe distance. You cannot think your way to clarity while refusing contact with reality. You have to test the work, risk the embarrassment, try the discipline before you decide if it fits. Real identity is discovered in friction. Are you seeking truth or just safer guesses? These aren't 5 lessons, they are 1. The octopus doesn't choose between being and becoming. It changes everything visible and nothing essential. It rewrites while remaining. It yields everywhere except where it cannot yield. And it has done this for 300 million years. Arriving on the other side of every catastrophe, adapted, precise, and unmistakably itself. Every day you grip a rigid version of who you used to be, instead of pouring yourself into who you need to become, you miss the life waiting on the other side. Reinvention does not require you to destroy yourself. It requires you to know what is editable and what is not. Something this precise does not arrive in the world by accident. It is a design, and if it was designed, ask yourself, for what? If you are beginning to see the world differently, you are not alone. There is more to remember. Subscribe to join us. The water darkens, the creature reorganizes. In under 200 milliseconds, it vanishes. Into the rock, into the sand, into perfect silence. Not smaller, not less, just precisely positioned, completely new, completely itself.